The military has some great benefits that can be leveraged to attain financial freedom. Unfortunately, teaching military members how to maximize their benefits isn't typically perpetuated throughout the military community. If it was, the military would have to rethink their retention strategies. Today I'm going to discuss the 5 things that I would do if I were still in the military to maximize my financial benefits. I'm Craig. I'm a former financial coach and jack of all trades who wants to help people learn useful life skills that aren't being taught in most schools, or in this case, the military. Subscribe to my channel and we'll work to level up our skills, plus I'll try to make it entertaining. Today we're going to talk about my military experience. I was in the National Guard for 10 years, 3 of which I spent as a military recruiter. During that time I worked with hundreds of service members, and I wanted to share some of the best practices that help people benefit financially from their time in the military. When you serve, it isn't all about the money, but when you're sacrificing your body, your relationships, and putting your life at risk, you should be compensated accordingly. Before we get too deep in this topic, this is the part where I have to insert a disclaimer for the people on the internet that like to wreck stuff for everyone else. I'm not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice, and the information provided is for entertainment purposes only. See the full disclaimer in the description. Now let's talk about those 5 things to prioritize. Number 1 is job selection. When someone first enlists in the military, certain jobs may qualify for an enlistment bonus. There are typically a shortage of personnel in these jobs, which is why they're offering the bonus in the first place. This may mean that it's a new unit that just needs bodies, or it may mean that that job just kind of sucks and no one wants to do it. While the bonus can be enticing, it's better to play the long game and pick a job that will give you the skills for after the military. If I could go back in time, I'd enlist into a job working with unmanned aerial systems. I know people firsthand who got hired for high 5-figure jobs directly out of the military with no college experience. That being said, working with drones isn't the only useful career field out there, but choose wisely. This can be worth a lot of money to you in the future. There's always somebody that says, but I want to make the military my career. I've met people who'd never spent one day in boots tell me that their plan was to retire from the military. They typically didn't pass the ASVAB. If you want to make the military your career, I have no problem with that. But the bottom line is, until you spend some time in the service, you don't know if you're going to want to stay or not. If you want to stay in the military, cool. But it should be a choice, not because you feel like it's your only option. There are a lot of factors that come into play. Your unit, your job, your family situation, and then sometimes there are things that are out of your control, like getting hurt and being medically discharged. It's not uncommon for service members to get picked up for high-paying jobs as government contractors upon leaving the service. This puts you at a major advantage over those who accumulated massive amounts of debt to get a college degree. Plan ahead for this and research what kind of jobs would interest you after the military. Number 2, VA home loan. After 3 years of active duty or 6 years in the service in the Reserves or National Guard, service members can qualify for a VA home loan with 0% down. This is huge as it opens up home ownership for people that may have never thought that would be an option. Owning real estate is one of the main vehicles people use for building wealth. In my experience, most people joining the military are coming from humble beginnings, but this benefit can be used as a financial tool for people to drastically improve their monetary situation. Unfortunately, instead of leveraging their money in investments like real estate, in my experience, most new service members tend to finance a new car. Using discipline with money is crucial at the beginning stages of a service member's career, as it will either set them up for success or set them up for failure. A little bit of delayed gratification goes a long way. This VA loan can be used while still in the service or after getting out. The kicker is, it can be used to buy rental property. A VA loan can be used for a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex as long as the service member lives in one of the units. Before getting too leveraged though into real estate, you'll want to get on biggerpockets.com and learn more about calculating cash flow on rental properties to make sure that it makes sense where you're stationed. This could be a very lucrative side hustle. The general rule of thumb with duplexes is that the rent from one side should cover the total cost of the whole mortgage on the property. That would free up that military housing allowance for other investments. If it were me, I'd do this prior to using any GI Bill benefits for going to college. Even though you have a VA loan hookup, qualifying for a home loan still requires income. This is why picking the right military job is so important, because it allows you to transition from the military straight into a higher income job and then build equity in real estate by buying a rental property. Number 3, using the Tsp Match. The thrift savings plan is the military's version of a civilian 401k retirement account. Before getting accustomed to spending a whole paycheck, set up automatic withdrawal to your TSP account. In general, you can set this up at boot camp or use the MyPay portal. Prioritize getting this set up, then leave it alone and let it grow. Be realistic about how much you can afford to put in each month, as once it goes into this account, you aren't going to want to touch it. Put in at least enough money to get the matching 5% that the government gives you. Don't leave that free cash on the table. When it comes to your TSP, there's only a few funds to choose from for investment. It's not that complicated, so don't let that stop you. Number 4, college benefits. This is fourth on the list for a reason. Financially speaking, your job skill training, security clearance, and VA housing benefits likely have more potential for your financial gain than college at this point in time. That being said, college can be a great way to obtain new skills and certifications that'll get you promoted to a higher paying position. Keep in mind, several government contractor positions offer tuition benefits for their employees. If you don't mind taking online classes, this can be a great way to maximize education benefits. In some cases, you can use your employee benefits in conjunction with your military benefits like the GI Bill and pocket that extra money. Always be looking for opportunities like this. My last 2 jobs as a government contractor offered tuition grants that I could use along with my GI Bill. Before enrolling in a college program, see if you can get credits from your military experience. Most military training qualifies for some sort of college credits. You'll need to submit your training transcripts to the college, and they'll tell you how many college credits you can get. Some colleges are better about this than others. I've had friends get close to the equivalent of a 2-year associate's degree just from submitting their job skill training from the military. Having a 2-year degree like this can generally be transferred to a larger 4-year college. Not all credits transfer between colleges. However, if you get a 2-year degree completed, it seems to have a higher likelihood of being transferred. Even if the transcript submission school isn't your first choice of college, it'll likely still benefit you to submit your transcript to get those free credits for your experience. Every college is different, so do your research on this as requirements change pretty frequently. Number 5, networking. You'll likely never have a job where you form as close a bond with other people as the military. It's a unique experience where bonds are forged for life. Use this time to build relationships. Your time in the service is your opportunity to build a reputation which can follow you outside of the military. I got my first job in government contracting through a referral of a friend that I used to serve with. In the contracting field, this happens all the time. In reserve components, this is true as well. In my experience, commanders of units and reserve units are great resources to use for getting in the door at civilian jobs. Let your battle buddies know what your goals and plans are, and don't be afraid to ask for assistance from the members of your unit. The military isn't always glamorous. A lot of the time it sucks. It's hard on relationships, families, and your own mental well-being. I hope these tips can help you make sure that you have something to show for the sacrifices that you make. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for your service.